we've got an equation right here, and we want to find the inverse of y. We're going to write that as y to the negative first power. That's just a notation for inverse. So because the last thing that we're doing here in this expression is adding 6, we want to go backwards, because that's what the inverse is, so we want to subtract 6. So basically what we're doing is solving for x, really. So we're going to subtract 6 from both sides. These cancel out, so now we're left with y minus 6 equals 2x. Okay. We want to continue going in the opposite direction, so we want to divide out this 2, and that'll actually cancel, which means we want to divide this side by 2 as well. So we're finally left with y minus 6, and that's all divided by 2, which equals x. Now, because we want to write it like this, y to the negative first power, we have to actually flip-flop the x and the y there. So this x switches with that y. So let's go ahead and rewrite that. We're going to have x minus 6 over 2, and that's going to equal y. Now, because y actually equals 2x plus 6 up here, this isn't actually truly what y is, but this is what the inverse of y is. So we want to put in that negative 1 exponent to represent the inverse. So this right here would be our final answer. Okay. The key thing is just to remember to solve for x, basically, and then at the end switch the x and the y, and then write your inverse notation. Here we have a function, g of x, and we want to find the inverse of this function. So the first thing that we should do is rewrite g of x as y, because that will make things a little bit easier for us. Now, to find the inverse, we want to go backwards, or like the opposite direction. Now, the last thing that's happening on the right side of the equal sign is the division of 6. So we want to start by multiplying by 6 to undo that. We want to multiply this side by 6 as well to keep things balanced. So these 6's are going to cancel out. We're left with 6 times y equals x minus 4. And basically what we're just trying to do is solve for x. So now the next step would be to get rid of this subtraction of 4. So we want to add 4 to both sides. Those cancel. We're left with 6y plus 4, and that equals x. Now, because we have this written as the inverse of g of x, we want to set all this over here equal to y. So basically all we do is flip-flop the x and the y, just like that. So we can write this as y equals 6x plus 4. Now, we know that y doesn't equal 6x plus 4 because up here we said y equaled x minus 4 divided by 6, but over here we are showing the inverse relationship. So remember that we have to include that negative 1 in the exponent. So the inverse of y, which is actually just the inverse of g of x, is 6x plus 4. So this would be your final answer down here.